In March 1997, 39 Heaven's Gate members, led by Marshall Applewhite, committed mass suicide in Rancho Santa Fe, California. They believed they would ascend to a higher plane aboard a spaceship trailing the Hale-Bopp comet. This tragedy highlights the potent allure of cults and the devastating consequences of blind faith. In 1970s America, Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles formed Heaven's Gate, blending Christian eschatology, New Age mysticism and science fiction. They believed they were chosen messengers, preaching an impending apocalypse and promising salvation via an extraterrestrial spacecraft. Their message resonated with disillusioned seekers, forming a devoted following bound by shared beliefs and strict discipline. This marked the beginning of Heaven's Gate, a group destined for a tragic end in pursuit of celestial salvation. To comprehend the Heaven's Gate tragedy, one must delve into its belief system, a mix of Christian eschatology, New Age mysticism, and science fiction. They believed Earth was on the verge of being recycled, and salvation lay in transcending human form to a higher evolutionary level. Applewhite and Nettles claimed to guide humanity to this evolutionary leap. They taught that the human body was a temporary vessel, and true freedom lay in shedding this mortal coil. This belief led to their tragic final act, a mass suicide to liberate their souls. Applewhite and Nettles' self-proclaimed prophets spread their message across the U.S. Followers made profound sacrifices, relinquishing possessions and severing ties. They surrendered autonomy to their leaders. These sacrifices were seen as steps towards spiritual liberation. The group consolidated, forming temporary communes. Despite hardships, their faith remained unwavering. Section 2. Wandering Stars, Seeking Solace and Recognition in the Desert. In the early 1990s, Heaven's Gate established a base near Tucson, Arizona, drawn by the desolate beauty and isolation. Amidst the rugged mountains and starry skies, they deepened their spiritual practice, embracing the desert's stark landscape. They purchased a former ranch, christened the Telescope House, intensifying their commitment to Applewhite and Nettles' teachings. Despite their isolation, they maintained a website to disseminate their beliefs and attract new recruits. Their efforts were met with skepticism, fueling frustration and a sense of being misunderstood. Section 3. The Transformation, Embracing Asceticism and the Promise of Transcendence. Heaven's Gate embraced asceticism, adopting severe dietary restrictions and regulated sleep to purify their bodies. Applewhite demanded absolute obedience, blurring the line between faith and fanaticism. Members adopted a uniform appearance, shaving heads and wearing matching outfits. Celibacy was embraced, with some undergoing voluntary castration to achieve transcendence. Section 1. The Comet's Call. A celestial harbinger of transformation. In the mid-1990s, Comet Hale-Bopp captivated stargazers worldwide. For Heaven's Gate, it was a divine sign, a celestial harbinger of ascension. Applewhite declared it was followed by a spacecraft, a vessel to the next level. The group's anticipation grew, believing their deliverance was at hand. Section 2. Preparations for Departure, Rituals of Purification and Release. As Hale-Bopp blazed brighter, Heaven's Gate members immersed in rituals to purify their bodies, minds and spirits for their celestial departure. These rituals, bizarre to outsiders, held profound spiritual significance, representing a final shedding of earthly identities. They consumed only liquids, believing this would purify their bodies. Prolonged fasting was believed to strengthen their spiritual resolve. They discarded all personal belongings, severing ties with their former lives. Clothing, photographs, letters, anything connecting them to their past was purged. They shaved their heads, symbolizing renunciation of vanity and embracing a collective identity. The group recorded farewell messages, both videotaped and written, to be shared after their ascension. In these testimonials, they spoke of their unwavering faith in Applewhite's teachings and their excitement about the journey ahead. Their words offered a glimpse into the mindset of a group convinced that death was a glorious beginning. Their chilling blend of fanaticism and resignation was evident in their final messages. Section 3. The Final Act. Embracing Death as a Gateway to the Heavens. On March 26, 1997, as Comet Hale-Bopp reached its closest point to Earth, Heaven's Gate members gathered in their mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. The time had come for their long-awaited ascension. They were calm, resolute, showing no fear or doubt. They believed death was a doorway to a higher plane of existence. Over 3 days, in a meticulously orchestrated suicide ritual, the group ingested a lethal cocktail of phenobarbital mixed with pudding or applesauce. They consumed the deadly mixture willingly, their belief in their imminent transcendence unshakable. They died in stages, in groups of 3 or 4, each group assisting the next. They were found lying neatly in their bunk beds, dressed in identical black shirts and sweatpants, faces concealed beneath purple shrouds. Each member carried a $5 bill and 3/4 in their pockets. The scene was one of eerie tranquility, the silence broken only by the hum of computers and the faint glow of the television screen. The Heaven's Gate mass suicide sent shockwaves across the globe, a stark reminder of the dark side of human belief. It was a tragedy born of desperation, delusion, and the dangerous allure of a charismatic leader. Their deaths left behind a legacy of unanswered questions, a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human psyche. Section 1. The Discovery, a scene of surreal tragedy. The tranquility of Rancho Santa Fe, California was shattered on March 26, 1997, by a chilling discovery. Responding to an anonymous tip, sheriff's deputies arrived at a luxurious mansion, marking the beginning of a surreal investigation. As the deputies approached, nothing hinted at the horror within. The mansion's interior, typically a sanctuary of comfort, was transformed into a tableau of death. The air, thick with the scent of decay, carried an unsettling stillness. The deputies cautiously navigated the mansion's hallways, their footsteps echoing ominously. In the bedrooms, a scene of chilling uniformity awaited them. 39 bodies, meticulously arranged on bunk beds, lay beneath purple shrouds. Each face, concealed beneath the fabric, held a story untold. The deputies, accustomed to gruesome realities, were shaken by the scale and orchestration of the deaths. The details painted a vivid picture of the group's final moments. Each body was clothed in identical black attire and brand new Nike sneakers. Beside each body lay a $5 bill and a quarter. The scene spoke volumes about the group's unwavering faith in their leader's vision. Section 2. Unmasking the Motives, Deciphering the Language of Despair. As news of the mass suicide spread, the world grappled with questions. Who were these individuals? What drove them to such a desperate act? The victims, ranging in age from 26 to 72, represented a diverse cross-section of American society. There were artists, musicians, writers, and computer programmers, drawn together by their shared belief in Heaven's Gate's prophecies. Their backgrounds had been replaced by the cult's ideology. Investigators uncovered videotapes and documents offering insights into the group's belief system and motives for suicide. The tapes captured members calmly articulating their decision to shed their earthly containers. Their words painted a haunting portrait of a group resigned to its fate. The documents revealed the meticulous planning and rationale behind the mass suicide. They spoke of their belief in an extraterrestrial spacecraft and their conviction that death was a transition to a higher plane. These writings provided a glimpse into the distorted reality the group had constructed. Section 3. A world in shock media frenzy and the search for answers. The Heaven's Gate mass suicide became an instant media sensation. The tragedy captivated the public's imagination, sparking speculation and analysis. Reporters descended upon Rancho Santa Fe, eager to uncover the group's secrets. The media coverage fueled a national debate about the dangers of cults and the allure of charismatic leaders. The tragedy became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dark side of human belief. Experts on cults provided insights into the group's belief system and recruitment tactics. The tragedy sparked a renewed interest in cult awareness and prevention. The Heaven's Gate tragedy also ignited a broader societal conversation about the role of religion and the boundaries of religious freedom. The incident forced many to confront uncomfortable questions about belief and the allure of the unknown. It served as a reminder of the human heart's susceptibility to extremism. Section 1. The Digital Legacy, Heaven's Gate in the Age of the Internet. The Heaven's Gate tragedy became linked with the burgeoning Internet. The group had embraced the Internet as a tool for disseminating their beliefs. Their website offered a glimpse into their ideology and preparations for ascension. Following the suicides, the website became the subject of intense scrutiny. The site provided information about the group's beliefs and final days. It also offered a platform for former members and cult experts to share their perspectives. The Heaven's Gate website remains accessible, a chilling reminder of the group's tragic end. Its existence raises questions about the ethics of preserving such content online. The Heaven's Gate case marked a turning point in how cults are approached in the digital age. The Internet became a vital tool for tracking cult activity and understanding recruitment tactics. The tragedy underscored the need for greater awareness of online dangers. Echoes of tragedy, the enduring fascination with Heaven's Gate. More than 2 decades after the tragedy, Heaven's Gate continues to cast a long shadow. The group's bizarre beliefs and meticulously planned suicide continue to fascinate and horrify. The tragedy taps into primal fears about the unknown and the allure of the afterlife. It raises questions about the nature of belief and the boundaries of religious freedom. The Heaven's Gate case serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of groupthink and charismatic leaders. It underscores the importance of critical thinking and skepticism. The tragedy continues to resonate with artists, writers, and filmmakers. From documentaries to fictionalized accounts, the Heaven's Gate story inspires creative works. The tragedy grapples with enduring questions of faith, delusion, and the human search for meaning. Lessons unlearned. The continuing threat of cult influence. The Heaven's Gate tragedy was not an isolated incident. It served as a reminder that cults continue to pose a threat to individuals and society. The allure of belonging and the promise of answers remain powerful forces. Despite increased awareness, many remain vulnerable to cult influence. The rise of the internet and social media has created new avenues for cult recruitment. The anonymity of the online world makes it difficult to identify and intervene in dangerous situations. The Heaven's Gate tragedy highlights the need for continued vigilance and education. It underscores the importance of fostering critical thinking skills and promoting healthy skepticism. Supportive communities and mental health resources are essential to resist extremist ideologies. The lessons of Heaven's Gate are as relevant today as they were in the wake of the tragedy. By remembering the victims and understanding the factors that contributed to their end, we can strive to prevent such tragedies in the future. The Final Frontier, reflecting on Heaven's Gate and the allure of belief. The Heaven's Gate tragedy stands as a chilling testament to the enduring power of belief and the seductive allure of charismatic leaders. Their meticulously planned suicide forced the world to confront the uncomfortable reality of extremism. From humble beginnings to a tragic end, their journey was paved with a yearning for meaning. Their belief system offered an escape from a world they saw as corrupt. In Marshall Applewhite, they found solace, guidance, and ultimately, their doom. The Heaven's Gate tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of surrendering critical thinking. Beyond the telescope, the enduring legacy of a cosmic tragedy. The legacy of Heaven's Gate extends far beyond that Rancho Santa Fe mansion. It sparked a national conversation about cults and charismatic leaders. The media's role in shaping public perception was highlighted. Law enforcement and mental health professionals have since made strides in understanding cult dynamics. The case prompted a renewed focus on cult awareness and education. Families were left grappling with grief and confusion. Their stories remind us of the devastating effects of cult involvement. The Heaven's Gate tragedy serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us of the power of belief and the need for critical thinking. By remembering the victims, we can strive to prevent such tragedies.